You ever catch yourself whispering, next year will be different? And then you realize that you said the exact same thing last year because that quiet frustration that you feel when you write those same goals again and again, listen, it is not failure, sis. It is misalignment because deep down, you already know that you don't need another plan. What you need is clarity about what God is actually calling you to build in this season. Listen, every year around this time, I know it's just not me. We say the same thing. Next year will be different. But then January comes around, and guess what? It's not. Same thing. We set new goals, make new plans, and promise that this will be finally the year that we stay consistent, we get focused, and we actually follow through on the things that we say we want to do. But then what happens? Halfway through, right? Sometimes not even halfway through. Sometimes we get to March and we're right back in the exact same cycle. Tired, overwhelmed, frustrated, and wondering why things in our life haven't changed. Why are they same? Why are we still doing the same things that we've always done? If your life feels like a loop, it's not just bad habits. It becomes chaos and disorder in your life because clarity can't flow through a cluttered life. And goals that don't align with your actual calling, your gifts, your assignment, and your skills always feel like you're carrying this heavy load on your back. Hey, y'all, I'm Talana, founder of Purpose Minded Women and the Steward Life community, a safe place for high capacity Christian women to go from surviving the many demands of life to stewarding every area with peace, with purpose, and most of all, with partnership with God. So today we're going to be talking about what misalignment really looks like and why you might be repeating the same goals every year, year after year, without seeing the lasting fruit. Listen, I know that I am not the only one who has done this, right? Because sometimes it's not that you're unmotivated. It's that your goals, your pace, and your purpose really aren't moving in the same direction. And so today we want to correct that because misalignment shows up as repetition. It's when you keep cycling through the same frustrations, different year, different planner. But the one thing that remains the same are your patterns. So you keep saying, I'll be more consistent. I'll finally start that business. I'll be more disciplined in my time and my walk with God. But you never actually feel like you're getting any closer. Why? Because you're building on top of clutter instead of in place of it. You're adding new goals to old systems. You're trying to build new results on top of old routines and habits that really can't support the things that you want in your life. You don't need more goals. You need to know that you're confidently aligned with God's plan for your life. So before you plan what's next, pause and ask God, are my goals rooted in what you actually told me to do, God? Or am I doing what I think I should be doing? Am I chasing random goals that don't align with my destiny? Or am I walking out my purpose and calling in peace? Is my life structured around your purpose for my life, God? Or am I falling to external pressure? If you're constantly striving but you're not seeing the fruit, chances are you're building from a place of effort and not alignment. So here are a few ways that misalignment may be showing up in your life right now, ways that they have actually shown up in my life. And the first thing is you keep resetting instead of refining. So every year you start over. Instead of improving what's already working, when you get frustrated and annoyed, you tear down everything because you don't have a system that supports sustainability. So just think about a building, maybe a classroom. And in that classroom, there is a leak coming from the ceiling. And instead of fixing the leak in that ceiling in that one classroom, what you do is you tear down the whole entire school. That's what it's like when we start tearing down our goals instead of looking for that one thing. That's what happens when we don't have this refinement and review step. We just see the big picture and we decide that it's not working and we start all over. The second thing is you chase productivity but neglect peace. You feel accomplished but not fulfilled. How many of us have been there, right? You keep crossing off your to-dos on your list, but feeling disconnected from what this thing that you feel, this thing that's growing and stirring in you, that you feel is what God is really calling you to. I have been there before. And this is really often the place where we start asking God, is this all that life has to offer? Because deep down, we know that there is something else, something that is missing that we are not a part of, but we deeply want to be a part of. Because you know that you were created for more, but you're not operating in that more. So there is this constant tension, this constant tugging of conflict in your life. But God never called you to experience that because He has had a plan planned before you, before the foundation of this earth. Which leads me to the third thing. You feel distant from God even when you're doing good things, because busyness isn't the same as fruitfulness. When your calendar's full but your spirit feels empty, that is your cue that something in my life is out of alignment. And it's at this point where God is inviting you to come back into alignment with Him, because alignment begins when you stop managing life by urgency and you start leading it with obedience. Not that you need to do more. This is a common misconception. You need to do what matters most, and not what matters most to everyone else, what matters most to God. Because realignment starts with clarity, and clarity requires space. Because when your life, your mind, or your calendar are cluttered, your discernment dulls. You can't even hear through all of the noise, the direction that God is asking you to go in. That's where the frustration comes from. That's where the tension and the conflict comes from, because you know you have a picture of where you should be, but you're not there yet. And that's why decluttering mentally, emotionally, and spiritual is such a critical part of stewardship. It's not just about cleaning out your space, okay? It is about clearing your focus to hear and know what God is asking you to do. So before you set another goal, pause and ask yourself, is this goal connected to who I'm becoming in Christ? Does this decision align with my season, or is this all about ambition? And this is a big one that we tend to forget to ask as women. Is this adding to my peace, or is this continuing to drain it? Sometimes realignment isn't about adding anything new. It's about finally subtracting what doesn't fit in your life. And God is showing you that each and every day. But a lot of times we're ignoring it. And when we choose to ignore it, we cannot stop repeating the cycles and the pattern that we find ourselves in. If you keep finding yourself in the same place year after year, it's time to stop resetting and start realigning and refining. Because God never called you to live on repeat. He called you to grow in harmony with Him. So before you write down another goal, ask Him to show you what needs to shift first. Is it your schedule? Is it your systems? Is it even your perspective? And listen, there may be even some people who need to be removed out of your life, but that's another video. Because clarity comes when your life, your goals, your calling finally are moving all in the same direction. That's how we begin to live whole as Christian women. And if you're ready to do that work, to actually align your daily structure with God's purpose, I have a free resource. It's the Steward Productivity System that can help you with that. It is the thing that helped me. It's a simple framework to help you organize your life with grace and not grind, to finally build routines that support your purpose instead of sabotaging it. Now, if this resonated with you and you're done saying next year will finally be the year, download the Steward Productivity System at the link in this description, and then watch this next video that walks you through the entire Steward Productivity System. Until next time, leave me a comment and let me know which one of these 3 signs of misalignment shows up in your life.